And we're back, everybody. We're at CIPD Festival of Work. We're going to continue this amazing interview series of AI in TA and HR, speaking to thought leaders on what their thoughts are on the state of the market. And we're here with no other than Nick Shaw. Nick,
hey,
wonderful to have you in conversation.
Thank you. Great to see you as well.
Great stuff. Nick, can you, for the people who don't know you, can you tell people who you are, what it is you do?
Yeah, so I'm Nick Shaw. I'm the CCO and co-founder at Spotted Zebra. And Spotted Zebra are an award-winning skills intelligence platform. We have interview intelligence and assessment within our platform, which helps our organizations to determine the right hire for the right role.
Yeah, fantastic stuff. And obviously, the assessment space, I think, is so hot in 2024, 2025. I think partly because we want to increase quality of hire, but also because we've seen this extraordinary surge of applicants into any published role, so that every employer is saying, how do we actually deal with this? What's your interpretation of that increase of applicant flow, and how does your product solve that problem?
Yeah, no, it's a great question. So we're definitely talking to organizations who previously were saying we might have had 10,000 applications for this role, and it's now 20, 25,000. And not only that, but all those candidates are hyper-personalizing their application.
Right.
So they all look like they're a really strong match to the role because they're using AI. So they're using AI through that application journey. So the things that our platform help the organization to do are to get a really strong understanding of the skills that are needed for success in the job, first of all. So key fundamental, what are the skills you're looking for? And then to help them put in place different assessment stages and interviewing stages that help them to measure against those skills. So that's really critical for us, is to get to the real detail of the skills that are needed for success. I guess the other thing is you've got to try and work out how, as the organization, you want to deal with the AI risk, right? So part of what we do is help to look at how can we make sure the individual that's completing those different elements are, the individual that you say they are, and that we've got some good assurance around that too.
Yeah, fantastic. And it's very interesting to see candidate usage of artificial intelligence. I think we can broadly accept that, of course, that's the correct thing to do. But at the same time, it causes significant challenges to traditional hiring approaches. Because as you say, suddenly we can't differentiate on CV anymore.
No.
And in fact, there's also technologies that enable not only personalization, but mass personalization.
Yes.
And that could be exponential. So I think we're only just in the start of where this is.
We are.
So I suspect companies will be, visiting Spotted Zebra. There'll be the ongoing exponential curve that way.
Exactly.
Can you tell me how it feels from a candidate perspective going through the Spotted Zebra experience? I'm applied to a job advert. It's from one of your customers. They've deployed Spotted Zebra's technology to go through to assess the candidates.
Yeah.
What am I looking at?
Yeah, what's we've been really thinking hard about is you've kind of got the one side of the coin, which is helping the organization to understand the skills, but then you've got the other side of that coin, which is, to your point, I think, how do we help the candidates to understand the skills they have, and then how those skills align with the role? So our role skill profile, of course, designs the assessment and interviewing solution that's in our platform, but it also informs the candidate journey. So by that, I mean things like quizzes or interaction they have where they understand the roles and the skills that are needed, so they can be assessed, yes, but also select in and select out. So we try and help the candidates to see, okay, this is the role, and this is what that involves, and kind of be on that journey. I think the other thing is we're super conscious of candidates going through these processes, so you keep them as short as possible, focused on the skills, as you might expect, mobile first, feedback for all, so they get something out of that experience. So we're trying to make sure they get a short, easy to complete solution that's relevant to the role, but enables them to also understand the role to select in as well as be selected out.
Perfect. What kind of job type is more suited for this approach, Nick?
Yeah.
Have you identified any trends where you say actually it's more suitable for this category of work?
Yeah, I would say there are probably two main kind of categories for us. So the way our solution works is through interview intelligence, we have a bot which is called Spot. So that's a note taker that joins the intake call between the hiring manager and recruiter. and then it listens to that call and uses our data to create the role skill profile. Spot will then recommend the interview guide and will recommend the assessment, the online assessment, to be completed, and will then join the manager in their interviews, so transcribe, summarize, and evaluate their interviews. So AI in that journey is helping them define skills and then do the measurement.
Right.
Still enabling the human to make the decision, but guiding them through that process. So if you think about those capabilities, they lend themselves so well to professional hire, where managers don't really necessarily have all those tools. Maybe they hire occasionally, and so this guidance through Spot helps them to do that really easily. And then the other main use case for us is early careers, where you've got those huge spikes in volumes and organizations need multiple skills assessment and interviewing stages to support them to get to the right candidates. So those are our two main applications of the platform.
Very clear. And by describing how Spot works, I think I've just visualizing in my own mind exactly how it's kind of a friend that carries all the way through.
Yeah, it's like AI as an ally. So Spot sitting with you, and as a hiring manager, you know, we're in a world now where they can't always have a recruiter one-to-one type relationship, right? So how can we use AI to make sure they're following best practice and really using the skill science that's in our platform, but in a way that's in their flow of work? So one of the things that we've been really focused on is you don't want the hiring manager to be doing another task. So they already have the recruiter intake call. Great. Well, let's let our solution join that intake call so that we're already in the flow of work, it's listening, and it's not adding to the stages of that journey for the recruiter or hiring manager. So that's really important, is AI as the ally, supporting that journey and enabling hiring manager success.
Yeah, I love that term, by the way. I'm going to steal it.
Yeah, you can.
Yeah, wonderful, wonderful turn of phrase. Final question, Nick.
Yeah, of course.
Addressing the audience of HR and TA leaders, if you could give them one piece of advice, one thing that they should be doing in order to be future fit, AI ready, what would that one thing be?
Yeah, that's a great question. I think we've been doing a lot of work looking at the speed at which AI or AGI is being adopted and the speed at which it's advancing. Now, if you look at the speed at which it's advancing, it's improving 4x year on year, which means that within about 5 to 6 years, it will be able to do a task that a human takes a month to do within a matter of moments. So I think the first thing is HR need to understand that's the rate at which we're moving. And then the second thing is that's going to be gradual. So I would encourage them to get ahead of what's happening in their businesses. What is the impact of AI? What are the roles they're going to be hiring for? What are those roles going to look like over the next 1 to 2 to 3 years? And then create a plan for how their function could be working alongside the business on that roadmap and on that journey. It's not like we're going to go from today to 2030 and 1 month AGI. We're going to be on a gradual journey to that, but that's happening now. So getting on board with that and figuring out what that means for their business.
Fantastic. Nick Shaw, thank you very much.
Hung Lee, great. Thank you so much.